Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you again. Some of you, my event coordinator, Jamie, who did a terrific job again with this, let me know that 60% of our registrants today are here for the very first time. Wow. But how many of you are customers of ShipCompliant? Can I see your hands? Okay, so you've been sitting on the sidelines. We actually have a lot of the same companies, but they're sending different people, and we love it because this is our opportunity to spend time with you one-on-one. We actually bring our entire team out, as Ken mentioned, about 35 folks now, and as many of you know, we're based in Boulder, Colorado. So it's been 8 years since we started this event, and even though we have a lot of new faces, we do have one face in the audience. I think if she's here, that's been all 8 years. And I'd like to just recognize her fortitude and working through all 8 years of that. Is Terry Piper here? She is here. Hi, Terry. Terry, could you raise your hand? The team's got some gifts for you. Thank you so much for coming. So we've learned a lot over the last 8 years from Terry, and we've learned a lot from her colleagues and all of you in the audience, and certainly much has evolved. Our company has evolved, the industry has evolved over that time. But even though, so if the destination is so different from the start, how do we know we're all going in the same direction? And one of the ways that I like to think that especially early on, when we had created ShipCompliant, we started to engage with each of you one-on-one, I didn't feel that we were pitching a feature or a benefit. I felt that we had an opportunity to help you understand who we were as a company, like what really drove us, and where we were going. And that was the decision you were making. And I think by staying aligned on our purpose, vision, and values, between us and our customers and their customers and themselves and their customers has enabled us to create lifelong, so far, right? 8-year, lifelong, it's a long time in software, relationships with each and every one of you. And that's what makes this day so special, because it really is our opportunity to reaffirm with you our purpose and vision, to share with you again our core values as a business, and rekindle that relationship, which helps take us to the next level. Now, there's been a tremendous amount of change in the last 10 years, like more change in the last 10 years than the last 75 in our industry. There's been, I think, more change in the last 5 years than the previous 10. And this accelerating change is creating opportunities. It's creating the ability, I think, for the very first time, we're starting to see that destination appear. And that destination or vision, for us, we see that as being, let's say our industry, our direct-to-consumer industry right now is 3% of all production. Can we see that grow 3x to 9% of all production within the next 10 years? You believe it can happen? Any raise of hands? Well, how do we execute on that? I shared last year our long-term 10-year goal and how we plan to execute, how we plan to facilitate that achievement within our industry. And it really has 3 pillars. The first is that, the laws are the laws. It's a personal decision whether you follow the rules or you don't follow the rules, but we have to be able to embrace them. We have to embrace them, we have to do what we can to change them, but they are what they are and we have to work within them. But it doesn't mean we can't engineer the cost and the other impediments out. And that's exactly what we think we need to be able to do. Secondly, is that we are all competing for the consumer's wallet. And we all have core customers. In fact, there's about 5.5 million unique households that comprise the several $billion in wine sales that ShipCompliant has seen over the last 8 years. Okay? You boil it down, it's only 5.5 million unique households in the entire United States. Those are super users. They're all selling to the same people, and they love wine, they love spending money on wine, but there's a lot more consumers in the US that are not purchasing online. And they're not purchasing online, but they're using their dollars in other ways, and they're gaining experiences, whether it's through Zappos or Amazon, and placing an order online and having it delivered the next day, having it delivered that same day, click-to-deliver rates, customer experiences. That's what we're competing against. We're just competing against other commodities, other products that aren't as regulated as ours. So we got to try to create a level playing field through technology and hold ourselves to a higher standard to achieve that. And finally, learn from other industries. There's a tremendous amount of innovation that's occurring in direct-to-consumer. Whether it's customized on-demand sunglasses from Warby Parker or a customized necktie company I met yesterday. There's just a lot of innovation occurring. We can learn a lot. And that's what we try to do at this conference, is always to bring in voices and perspectives from outside of our industry, so we're not going crazy in the echo chamber here. Okay, this vision that you see up on the screen, this is what motivates the team. We've been executing against this from day one. When you combine vision with core values, because we're a core value-driven business, you get a destination. It's kind of like an isosceles or a Pythagorean theorem, if anyone remembers. Yeah, I don't, obviously. Cosine, and then you get the destination. But core values are incredibly important to us. Core values to ShipCompliant mean embracing our customers' problems as our own. And hopefully if you work with us, this is resonating with you. We embrace our customers' problems as our own. We are real in our interactions with each other and with our customers. That we're not afraid of the future. We embrace change. We feel things are constantly moving. And we're not afraid of it. And we want to improve the way the world works. And lastly, a lesson that Jeff and I learned at St. Francis Winery in 2006. We don't eat the food before a food and wine pairing. I haven't quite worked that into the core values list, but I continue to lobby for it. Maybe look for it for next year. So, core values, vision have come together to help us and give us the opportunity to work with over 3,300 wine brands. This is just on the direct-to-consumer side of the business. And that's a tremendous obligation and opportunity, and we don't take it lightly. It really inspires us to have that level of impact. And there's a few ways that we measure ourselves and are measuring our industry on its path to that broader vision. The first is this number on the screen, 3.18 million. That is the total cases of wine shipped direct to consumer in 2012. It's been growing, too, quite a bit, up 20% since 2010, and hopefully we'll continue to see that moving forward. So that's the industry as a whole. Now what about ShipCompliant? ShipCompliant processed 4 million unique orders in 2012. That's up a bit from the 3,700 in 2006. That 4 million sets of orders resulted in 650,000 pages of regulatory reporting. And I guarantee you, every piece of paper is being analyzed and inspected by those regulators. I mean, this is like a plus and minus, because on the one hand, it's very humbling to see that number and think about all the time and the human effort that was saved through automation, through these tools. This is just ShipCompliant. This doesn't include all the other compliance companies and any other way that someone's doing it. That's just what's happening in ShipCompliant. Imagine what, these are people spending more time with their families and doing the things that they love and doing the things that grow their business, right? On the other hand, it's still paper. That's paper that's being sent to the States. Pretty ridiculous. So all of those transactions, I think we're running 10 million actually unique digital transactions per month, with very, very quick uptimes, probably about 50 milliseconds per compliance check. So it's very fast. We couldn't provide this seamless experience to you without the support of our partners. These are companies, technology companies, fulfillment operators that invest heavily to give you a seamless experience. These are our gold certified partners. These are our certified partners, many of whom are in the audience or are in the hallways. But they put forth tremendous effort along with our team. We couldn't do it without them, and we really appreciate their support. How about a round for the partners? Okay, so I assume with all the hands up, we have a lot of customers in the audience. I don't have to explain too much about what we do, but as you know, we we got started providing compliance, ShipCompliant compliance, and you'll find, our naming, our marketing capabilities have only been enhanced since last year. Wait till you see what we've got coming. So obviously, ShipCompliant provides a compliance capability. Our customers have pushed us over the years and begun to rely upon our delivery in a number of different areas: order execution and fulfillment management. So your entire direct-to-consumer supply chain is being empowered through ShipCompliant, through that technology base. A few years ago, we began to provide you with insight into your cross-channel sales, and this has only continued to expand. We'll be touching on that as well. And finally, market enablement. There's only so much that a producer can do on its own right out of its front door. There's only so much traffic that can be delivered. The rest can come from e-commerce, it can come from other innovative channels that we don't even know about yet. But let's create the foundation that empowers others to innovate and create new channels and sales opportunities for our business. So what happens when something goes wrong? And it does, like we screw up. And how many of you have contacted our team in the past year? Okay, hopefully we don't screw up that often. Whoops. I don't. Well, what do? You call these people with Greg Brady in the center. I can say that, he's my brother. I love these people. These are our client services team. They're absolutely incredible. I believe as a technology company, you always hear about customer experience, user experience. I believe that the customer experience is not just their interaction with the technology, their interaction with the software. I mean, we can create a great product, but it also is their interaction with our company as human beings. And I think that is what really creates a difference with ShipCompliant and the approach that we've made. And it gives me a lot of confidence that we're going to continue to evolve and innovate and maintain the relationships that we've started here with you guys today. And it really comes down to these folks. Now, how many of you are here today with something you want to talk to our client services team about? Who has a question they want to raise? Okay, just a few. That's good. We have a new member of the team I'd like to introduce you to. And since it's her first day on the job, I thought we'd make sure that you can't miss her. Okay? She loves her dog Lola. She graduated from the University of Colorado, and she's going to be super, super excited to have her face up on the board today. She's in the back. Her name is Amy. Everybody say hi, Amy. Welcome, Amy. Hi. Welcome aboard, Amy. I swear we do this to every new hire. Hopefully she's here tomorrow. All right, so this leads me to one of my most important metrics that I use to measure our business. And I encourage all of you to adopt it. It's worked very well for us. And that's Net Promoter Score. Net Promoter Score is a quantifiable measurement of customer loyalty. Net Promoter Score is, how likely are you to recommend this product or service on a scale of 0 through 10? You guys may have received those things, but we pay very, very close attention to your responses. A few years ago, I think we started with a score of 54. Last year, our score was 68. Just to give you some context, here are some other companies and their customer satisfaction scores, recommendation scores. Costco's, 76? As of last week, our aggregate average score is 76. So, thank you, and thanks to our team. So obviously, the team has invested tremendously in the technology, in our client services, to try and do whatever we can do to brighten your life. And it's starting to have a result. Now, does that mean we're going to sit on our rears and not do anything? Heck no. We're actually spending more than ever on R&D as a percentage of our company expenses. We really are doubling and doubling and doubling down to try to take things to a different level. And I'm really excited to share some of the results of this with you. Now, just to go off script for a second, my thing up here isn't showing how long I've been talking. So I just want to make sure that I'm staying on time. You guys can let me know that. All right, so we have 3 products. And they're all very complementary: ShipCompliant Direct, ShipCompliant Wholesale, and ShipCompliant Marketplace. ShipCompliant Direct's vision and purpose is to grow your business with compliance integrity. And really the big, hairy, audacious goal with regards to direct-to-consumer compliance is eliminating paper. I put myself in our customers' shoes last month. I was personally doing the compliance reporting on one of our clients, and I'm cutting these checks for like 3 cents, 2 cents. And I know that they were doing it, but it's a little different when you're actually the one like signing the checks and you have somewhere else to be, and we've got to solve it, and we're going to solve it. And one of the cornerstones of that effort is on reporting. Reporting is one of the most valued pieces of ShipCompliant for our winery customers. And we have embarked on a complete re-engineering, reimagination of how reporting should be done. And it starts with changing the workflow of how you actually use the application to meet your regulatory needs. And by rolling this out, this new reporting workflow, we'll be setting the stage for some very exciting changes in how we all have to deal with 3-cent checks and paperwork submitted to the states. So what's wrong with the current one? Well, it's a little old, long in the tooth. The usability is not so great. 2 is we found our customers are still doing way too much activity outside of ShipCompliant. We formed focus groups to learn exactly, make sure so no one's just creating a workaround on something that shouldn't be the way it is. And finally, online filings become more prevalent. You think that's a great thing, right? But each one is different, and they require you to log in, and they require to basically, a lot of them require you to type in the same information you were typing into a report. Now you have to do it on a screen. So we're trying to solve all of those issues, and this is the new reporting workflow. We're rolling this out in beta, so our customers in the audience that love to try new things or be a little experimental, you'll have the opportunity within the portal to opt into the beta. We're going to be focusing on a few cool new capabilities. First is being able to, the system remembers your filing habits and automatically can pre-select certain filters to enable you to do more faster through batch processing. Secondly, dirty reports, that is, reports that have missing information, is the bane of all of our customers' experiences, whether it's tracking information or data that doesn't add up correctly, or you're used to receiving a certain piece of data that needs to be remitted to the states. We're surfacing it, providing some great and easy-to-use tools to resolve it. And finally, the last thing I wanted to show, and these are just a few highlights from the solution, is give you the data, the benchmark data, so you can gut check, hey, is it right that this month's check is 100% less than what I had to send in last month? And you're going to be able to see all of this and work with it and help move this process towards a more automated future. The other thing that's occurred is we rolled out a customer service or customer satisfaction survey this past winter, and one of the top requested features was being able to access ShipCompliant on your mobile device. So I'm really happy to say that maybe some of you have already found it. If you navigate to ShipCompliant from your mobile device today, it's a brand new experience. It's a brand new interface. This is what it looks like. It's very trimmed down. If you're on an iPad, you can just opt into the full site if you want. This is really meant to surface key information, whether it's cross-channel sales and performance. You just want to say, hey, how's my release going? You can see it right there. We're up 23% month on month. Or if you get a call from a customer and you're out of the tasting room and they want to know what the status of their order is, type in the order, look up the most recent orders, and see all the order history, compliance information, fulfillment information. It's all right there, and you guys can access it today. So it's available to all of our customers. We really look forward to your feedback too. There's a feedback button. Help us understand where to take this program. All right, next I want to touch on is analytics. We rolled out analytics, ShipCompliant Analytics, in 2010, and it's been used a tremendous amount. It was released in a beta format, and since then, every single month, through customer feedback, through investment on our end, we've improved it, adding new reports and capabilities. The analytics team is now taking it to the next level. We've hired a data scientist. His name's Ben Alsgaard. You'll see him in the panel this afternoon, the ShipCompliant University panel. He'll be wearing a lab coat. And Ben has enabled us to take information that we've never seen before and marry it with our customers' data to present to you insightful data. And for example, it turns out I'm one of the only guys that orders Moscato. And I'm okay with that. I keep telling myself. Yeah. And whether it's varietal by gender type, and whether your winery's data matches up with that benchmark data, or if it's household income, generational information, brand promiscuity, like how likely is it for a consumer in a certain segment to be able to, how likely are they to order several wines? How likely are they to order just one brand? And it really changes how you send out your offers. So there's a lot of insight there. And each one of these little improvements starts making you sharper and sharper and sharper. Sharpen that sword enough, and you cut right through. So that's in the afternoon, 3:25. Some great data will be shared with you then. Okay, so just to recap, with ShipCompliant Direct, our paperless vision, kicking that off with a completely new reporting workflow. I hope you opt in to that. Try out the mobile site and let us know what you think. And explore analytics, either in the afternoon session, or if you can't make it, there will be opportunities within the portal to opt into that. All right, so now on to ShipCompliant Wholesale. Now, Wholesale we released a few years ago, and the problem that Wholesale is solving is this is the traditional side of compliance, trade side, right? We work in a $40 billion industry, and $2 billion of that is direct. The rest of it's trade. So we know at the end of the day, for many of us, this is what keeps the lights on. It's not growing a ton, not as fast as direct, but it's a very, very important part of our business. Well, that important part of our business is also very, very old. 75 years, a lot of bureaucracy. It's filled with tons of paper. A lot of the information in your organization is locked up in someone's mind. What happens when they win the lottery and they leave? So we rolled this out and we learned a lot. Turns out that it was very, very popular with importers. And spirits brands, companies that are innovating quickly, that are making acquisitions, have to deal with scalability. They wanted to have some kind of platform that allowed them to scale without adding people. Most importantly, these companies found that if they took that information that was in people's heads, they took that information that was in the filing cabinets, and they allowed ShipCompliant to execute those tasks for them, it would elevate the data so the rest of the organization could act on it. All of a sudden now, sales and operations teams are moving faster. They're making market decisions based on the activities that the compliance team is doing. So with ShipCompliant Wholesale, we haven't replaced that role. We've actually made it more important to the organization. 45,000 products are currently being managed through ShipCompliant Wholesale, and $4.7 billion in alcohol sales were processed last year, just in 2012. Within that platform. Also, the adoption of the solution has gained considerable traction in the last year. I was pretty excited about 2011, and a lot of that growth was driven by PRO. If you recall, PRO is Product Registration Online. It's a public-private partnership program that we have with states to enable states to be able to accept registrations electronically. It's like they don't have the resources to do it on their own. Let's create the systems for them and try to move this process further along. It's been tremendously successful in the states that have adopted it. We're live in Washington, Colorado, New Mexico, Kansas, and Illinois. And what's really remarkable about this is these are states where it was taking you 6 weeks to get an approval. And with PRO, our customers are seeing approvals in a few days. Like 6 weeks to a few days. That's the difference between. And actually, there's a great story of, we were on the phone with one of our clients, and very conservative woman, and never would have thought we'd hear this, and we were showing her how to use it, and she goes, all of a sudden we hear this screaming on the other end of the line, "Shut the front door!" She had gotten approval while she was on the phone with the team. And I mean, that's great. You can get up and get a cup of coffee, come back and get an approved registration, rather than file your registration and go travel the world twice and come back and find that you had an error and you have to refile it. Anyway, it's gone very well. The team is working really hard to get it into more states. We're currently in talks with 15 markets. We really need your help, though. We need you to tell your regulator contacts that you'd like to use Pro. Working with the states is challenging, but very, very rewarding once it occurs. And this is some of the feedback from the folks that have been using the system. Wow, I am impressed. They could have put an exclamation point, but they didn't, and I recognize that. So now pivoting to TTB. Last year we announced our data partnership with TTB, or data relationship with TTB, and the first manifestation of that relationship, which was Colossum. Now, how many of you have used Colossum? And be honest. Okay, not too many in this audience. That's okay. It's okay, because somebody else has, and they've registered 1,731 products through Colossum in the last year. This is a free tool for our customers. This is free to you to use, no obligations. It's just something that we innovated on. Now, we all know about how challenging it's been to get approvals with TTB, right? Really, really tough. And they're in a tough spot with sequestration and other restrictions on their budgets. Despite that, those 1,731 products were registered and approved in just 19 days on average last year. It's a really, really impressive number. We're very, very excited about that. So Colossum's in your ShipCompliant portal. It's right there. Try it out. Obviously, you guys need to try it out. That's because you weren't here last year. I understand. Okay, so now on to the next thing. This is an exciting product extension for us. And it comes down to labels. Labels are really important to all of our business. Wine's not a product that you can just sample all the time, right? You got to make snap decisions on what it looks like, and label design, label research, gray market monitoring, making sure someone else isn't stealing your stuff, trademark research, and competitive research. Is something that the only tool available to you today is the TTB online website. And it's great, it's wonderful that they provide that information, but it's not really built for these kinds of tasks, right? Enter key awesome marketing word, Label Vision. So what do you think Label Vision does? Label Vision allows you to do a few different things that help to address these problems. Number one is you can very easily and visually browse the TTB database. It's a running 20-minute, or 20 minutes, it's a running 20-day look into every wine, spirit, and beer product registered in the United States. You can segment it in a number of different ways like this is showing us. Number two is you can do deep dive research, contextual research. You actually search up, I want to launch a product named Vodkila. Oh. Darn it, it's a great idea, isn't it? Vodka, tequila. I mean, normally you do one and then the other, but now you can do them both at the same time. Unfortunately, Red Eye Louie's got the market cornered, so maybe I need to do some kind of JV. But anyway, it's a really fascinating tool. It's also available to you guys. We're rolling this out in a beta form. It's free for all of our clients to use for a period of time as we work out the rest of how the product's going to evolve. We just ask that you send us feedback through the send feedback form. So again, you can access Label Vision within the portal right there. All right, so just to recap, our product roadmap for ShipCompliant Wholesale. You guys can find Patrick. Where's Patrick? Don't look for him, he's not in here. Patrick, our product manager, is happy to tell you more about where we're taking the product, but these are our objectives for 2013. And excited to see how far that product's gone. Okay, so now on to ShipCompliant Marketplace. Marketplace was launched last year, and the purpose of Marketplace is to give our customers the opportunity to very easily, with zero additional overhead, compliantly participate in third-party opportunities or additional sales channels. This is the interface that you're looking at on the screen right here. This is being used by hundreds and hundreds of wineries to participate in a variety of different programs. And it's been pretty successful. All of those wineries just in 2012 interacted with 138,000 new consumers. These are consumers that have never ever purchased wine online for many of our customers that we've seen over the last 8 years and several $1 billion in wine sales. We also see a fair amount of conversion of those consumers as well. So we're always thinking about how do we continue to grow? What's our runway for taking our business to the next level? These are efforts that we've undertaken to try and accelerate that however we can. It's a system that doesn't allow you to cut corners, but it enables you to participate compliantly and in a scalable fashion. And to speak to one of our successes in 2012, we partnered with Facebook to help launch their wine gifting program. And the product owner at Facebook, Lee Linden, is with us today. He's going to share a little bit about where Facebook is going with their initiatives and their experiences with ShipCompliant. Allow me to help me make a warm welcome to Lee, please.